everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought I'd just do a brief run through. This is my cat Ozzy, and she's getting in here. But I was out in the garden today, and I was harvesting some of the food. And I thought, well, maybe it'd be nice to kind of show you what I'm getting from, an actual point of view of what I'm actually getting from my garden. Because I have encouraged a lot of people out there to start growing their own food and having their own garden. So I thought I'd just kind of show you what I harvested literally just today. And I'll show you some of the things I do with these items. And I was going to take a video out into the garden and show you guys what the garden looks like right now, but I'm kind of not feeling well. So I'm just, I had barely enough energy and I could barely handle the pain just to pick what I picked. So I thought I was going to make this short and simple. But I just thought it'd be kind of nice for you to see what I pick on an average day, right? Or in an average week, whatever the case may be. And then I'll kind of show you what I do with some of the produce that I'm getting. So one of the first things here I've got is peas. So these peas were all picked today. So as you can see, that's an amazing amount of peas. And if you were just wanting to chop them up and throw them in a stir fry, that's fresh food right there. I do that sometimes, but I'm kind of looking more to preserving for like future when the wintertime we don't have good produce. So some of these I will be eating them as they are, and then some I'll be processing for later on. So how do I process those? Well, I freeze them, right? What I do is I take after I've shelled all the peas and I washed all the peas. I would literally blanch them in hot water for just under a minute, just to get them the nice green and make sure there's no ickiness on them. And then I literally just, wait till they dry off and throw them in a freezer bag. Super simple. Now, you saw the little batch of peas here that I've collected today. Okay. And my peas are almost drilling down, so I'm going to have to replant some new ones because they're almost done. But this is like about 3 harvests of peas worth a pea shelling. So it is a bit of tedious work, but I don't wait till I have them all at one time, right? So I will take these, like these ones here, for example. I will shell these now, and then I will, stick them in a freezer bag. I don't wait for hundreds of them, right? So from a disability point of view, it makes the task a little less manageable, instead of trying to go through piles and piles and piles of peas, which sometimes I've done. This makes it simpler. It breaks down the task so that you're really just dealing with a handful of peas, and it's super easy. You just blanch it for a minute in really hot water, cool it off in cold water, throw it in a freezer bag, and into the freezer. That simple, that easy. And I think for most of us, that's something we can all manage. And if you're in a position where you're not able, I would ask if you know somebody who can come and help you. There's a lot of people who want to help each other. It's just that we never ask, right? We never ask anybody for help. So that's my piece. The other things I've been getting a lot of is cucumbers. This whole thing is full of cucumbers, and these are all my garden cucumbers. So you see all those? And I like to eat my cucumbers obviously whole. Again, this is just from today. This is literally today's, and we picked some last week as well. So it's really really productive bunch of cucumbers here. And of course, with cucumbers, obviously I eat them fresh in salads and stuff. But what's the best way you can take care of these? Let's do some dill pickles or sweet pickles or whatever the case may be. So I do can a lot of food. And again, it's the same situation as with the peas. I don't wait until I have, 500 pounds of cucumbers, because that would be too much and that would be a huge process. Even the ones I have sitting in this bucket are going to be a lot to process. So we'll probably eat a lot of them in salads and greens and such. But yeah, I kind of want to just show you, what I've gotten so far, and that it doesn't have to be hard, right? Also, another thing I get here is these are my green beans. This is all from today. Look at that. all from this morning. Literally at 6 o'clock this morning, I was out in my garden picking these. And those are just bush beans. So those bush beans, especially for somebody who is limited physically, like I am, because I have, like I say, I get excruciating pain if I bend or move certain ways for too long. Um, Bush beans are amazing because they can grow in containers, so you can put them on your sun deck. I actually want to try an experiment, and let me know if you want to do this with me. Is I'm going to try and see if I can grow a bush bean in a container in the house, right? Because some of us don't have garden space. Let me know if you want me to try that, and we'll try it together. Let's see, right? Um, and again, the same situation with the beans as the peas is sometimes what I'll do is obviously I'll eat them fresh because they're great that way. Pan fry them, a little butter, garlic, whatever floats your boat, right? Put them in stir fries; they're amazing. But one of the things I do with them is I'll do the same thing as the peas, and I'll prep them all up, cut off the ends, make sure I take the stringy parts off. I'll just blanch them for a minute in hot boiling water, right into cold water, and then I can freeze them. Or kind of like the pickles, I'll pickle beans, right? That's another way, or canned beans. There's lots of different instruction on there if you want to learn how to can. I might get into that later on, like in the fall when I'm not so heavily into the garden stuff and that in the process of how I do my canning. If that's something you're interested in learning about, please let me know and we'll talk about that, right? Um, and then these ones are my burgundy bush beans. So again, it's a bush bean, right? But look how many I got just today. Um, I just want to really stress this out is that you don't have to have a large space. Now, in my defense, I have about, when it comes to the bush beans, I have about one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I have about 10 bush bean plants. And these all came from those 10 bush bean plants. I have about six, um, no, actually, one, two, three, five of the burgundy bean plants. And I got all that just from five, right? And I have a family, so we're all eating this stuff, it's on a regular basis. Um, I just wanted to kind of encourage you and show you that it can be done. We can grow our food, even if it's just some of it cuts the cost, doesn't it? Right. Another thing that we grew, I'm just bending over here. Don't mind me. Is our own homegrown lettuce. This is our romaine lettuce. Now I literally picked it, so we need to kind of clean it up and get it put into bags. And so what I do for my romaine lettuce is I wash it up, prep it all up, and wait, look, what's this? Salad in a bag, already made. Salad in a bag. You know the ones we buy in the grocery store? That's salad in a bag, right? So yeah, I thought I would share this with you and kind of encourage you, even if you have mobility issues, even if you have disabilities, we can be gardeners and we can grow things and we can have fun with what we have. Um, you know, I'm about trying not to have food waste anymore, right? Because so much of our food goes into waste. So do things like, raspberry preserves. Like we had a whole bunch of raspberries that we had purchased, a little too much, and then some were actually given to us. And so we had to figure out, well, what are we going to do with it? So we don't want it rotting. We don't go bad. So I've made some raspberry preserves. Super easy, right? And again, it's just one batch of raspberries, where the case may be. I don't wait until I get, thousands of batches, right? Because that's too hard when you're have disabilities and mobility issues, right? So I process what I have. I don't wait to have 12 jars ready to go. It seemed like, for example, like cherry tomato. I made my own sauce, right? I had some cherry tomatoes from last year that I canned, just whole cherry tomatoes, and then I had some extra cherry tomatoes that were given to me this year. And I'm still waiting for my garden. My cherry tomatoes aren't doing so good, but it is what it is. But maybe they're coming. Some of my tomato plants are coming, and I will do another garden tour once I'm kind of feeling more up and about. Just kind of fighting I don't know, pain, flu thing, whatever. So, really, the reason I wanted to just kind of show you is all this food just from, you know, a single day's harvest, right? And to kind of explore with you options of what you can do with your green beans and your your peas and your cucumbers. Obviously, you try to eat it fresh as if you can, right? Um, but even like your tomatoes, like like I said last year, I had so many cherry tomatoes, and I wasn't prepared and what to do with them at the time. So I literally made I canned jars and jars of them. And then this year, when I had some extra cherry tomatoes that were given to me, I thought, well, let's make some tomato sauce. So that's what I've done. I took all those jars, emptied them into a pot, added the new cherry tomatoes, and I have sauce, right? So yeah, I mean, this is just a real quick video this time. I just wanted to kind of encourage you um, and remind you that just because we might have limited mobility and we might have some disabilities, um, it doesn't mean we stop living, right? It doesn't mean we have to you know not enjoy life, right? One of the biggest things I get from being in the garden is the surprise and the joy when I go out there and I see this produce. I literally this morning when I went out and I saw my cucumbers, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful thing. We grew this, right? And then of course I had to give thanks to the plant. I'm a weirdo. I love my plants, right? I had to talk to the plant and say, you know what? Thank you so much for this amazing abundant food. Thank you to the ancestors, gods, angels, whoever that is, whatever's out there, the spirit guides, whoever they are, right? uh because you go out there and you just see the magic, you know and I was thinking to myself, this is what our ancestors did, right? This is what our ancestors were about, growing their own food and having that pride and that sense of wonder, and how something that come from a little tiny seed can grow into something so amazing, like these beautiful peas, right? And I literally was out there and I was thinking, wow, this to me is just so amazing and so wondrous. And I didn't know, I don't. I'm kind of rambling. I do this, sorry, but it just brought me such a moment of awe and wonder, and made me stop and contemplate. Like I understand that now the world is all about processing this and processing that, and having all these machines that do everything for us. But while I was out in the garden today, I was like, this is what our ancestors did. They picked the vegetables from the plant, right? They were one with nature and one with growing the food. And I think in today's society we've all lost that, haven't we? A good portion of us have lost that. You know, it's easy to look at gardening as it's a lot of work, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it is a lot of work. But I think it's also an amazing gift to be able to harvest and see something you've grown, and something that just you started from a teeny little seed. And it's like watching a child grow, right? You have a little baby and it grows older and it becomes a teenager and and I think what a miraculous, amazing thing. And I think that as humans, that's something that maybe we need to get more in touch with, just that basic sense of where we came from and who we are. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I sit now. There, I thought, well, maybe I should share this journey with you today. Um, like I say, I will get back out to the garden and take you on a tour where the garden is now compared to where it was when I first video. I think in June, maybe it was May or June. So you can kind of see where it's going. I'm gonna have to start pulling the peas out soon because they're getting older. I need to replant new ones. I'm gonna have to plant some new lettuce in there. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely bring you out there and kind of show you what's going on in the garden. Um, but yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to make sure I was sharing this with you and encouraging you that even if you grow just a single plant, a single bush bean, um, or a single cherry tomato plant, or some herbs, or even some lettuce, or whatever the case may be, you can do. I really encourage you to try it and do it. Um, one, you can reduce your food cost bill, right? Um, and two, you can kind of connect with watching the miraculous event of watching something grow and bloom and then become something edible, right? I think we've lost that magic, right, in our world, in our society. Um, but I also wanted to show you, there are simple, easy ways to, take what you've harvested, like these green beans, and either, pickle them or, flash freeze them in the freezer, so that you have produce throughout. I mean, if you have too much, and encourage the small amount, right? Excuse me, the small processing rather than waiting for 100 cucumbers to do. Although I do have a lot I got to take care of. Um, but yeah, I just kind of want to share that with you today. It's just a short 20-minute video ish. Um, yeah, so let me know what you think and how you feel. Did you want to see me try growing something in the windowsill and see how we do over the winter time? Maybe a bush bean or something. I don't know. Let's try something new. Let's experiment, right? Let's have fun because I realize there's so many of us out there who maybe don't have a garden space or growing space. And I do know we can grow stuff inside on a windowsill, especially if you have a south-facing windowsill. Even if it's only one window, right? We can still work with it, right? So let me know if that's something you'd like to kind of try with me and journey with me and see if we can do this together. As always, I have a lot of other content on my channel. I have a painting one I'm working on painting right now. I have just chit chats like this. Um, and I have my my Wednesday and Sunday oracle readings up on the channel right now, which are just moments where we sit and reflect on certain words and thoughts, where we do some journaling prompts and some affirmations. So if you're feeling like, midweek on a Wednesday, you kind of need a pick me up, that might be something for you, right? Um, or on a Sunday, if you're sitting home alone and you're just feeling kind of wish something, to look at something different, maybe check out my Sacred Sunday videos because, they're meant there to encourage you and help you and help us all, right? I don't use it as a typical like oracle or telling the future reading. It's more of a let's take this and you know grow and become better human beings because really that's all I want to do, right? I want to be a better human being. I want to encourage others to be better human beings. And so, yeah, check out the rest of my channels. For those of you who love cats, as I'm sure you've seen occasionally, I do have some shorts for my cat shorts, so Luna and Ozzy, and then I do have some shorts with my dog Bella, a couple there. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to um, make it something fun and interesting. And yes, I know we're supposed to niche down. I just can't. That's not who I am, right? So my niche is I do everything. I garden, I paint, I do tarot readings and oracle readings. I do inward study and healing and that sort of stuff. And I love my pets, right? So and I think that's okay. We don't need to be just one thing. Anyway, I'm rambling off as I sometimes tend to do here. But again, thank you so much for all of those who are watching. We have 31 subscribers. I know it sounds like a small amount, but amazing. Thank you for all of you subscribing and all you who actually still watch. Um, again, I'm a new channel. I started in January, so I am just kind of working my way up bit by bit. So please, if you are finding any interest in this whatsoever, please subscribe because then you can see new videos that I have, and also be part of the community because I will be putting together a community tab where we can kind of have conversations in the community. But also, if you're liking this, please give us a like. Um, but really, I think one of the big things is if you can comment, right? If there's something you want to see, I can't grow this channel to be what you want to be if I don't know what you want, right? I can only do what I do and know who I am and what I've learned and that sort of thing. But if you could put out there what it is you want to see. Do you want to see more gardening? Do you want to see more painting? Do you want to see the more the oracle healing self side of things? Do you want to see the cats or dogs? You know, it doesn't have to be one thing. Is there something else that you're not seeing on the channel that you would like to see? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, as always, be kind to each other. It's a harsh world out there right now. Be kind, be light, be love, be kind to others, but remember, be kind to yourself. Until next time, I'm Jenny.